Well, as you all probably figured it out fairly quickly, I'm no longer working on my other S10. Money got tight and things got bad and I just couldn't afford it anymore, so I ended up getting this giant piece of shit. I have done too much to it. I had to put a transfer case in it, a inner and outer tie rod on the passenger side, front shocks, brakes, 2 front tires, what was it, calipers. Let's see here, I put a radiator in it, oil cooling lines, just recently put in a fuel pump, had to pop the windshield out, reseal it, put it back in. And it seems like my problems never stop, because I have recently encountered another problem, which one I'm not sure how I'm going to fix. Can you see that? That is coming from there. Looks like it's coming from this front piece. So, I'm not really sure how to fix that. I'll have to look it up, I guess. Oh, and I had to put exhaust on it. And I got torsion bar housing bolt bar bushings bad. Yeah, that's my major issue there. I guess it's not leaking too terribly bad, but biggest issue I have with that right now is the fill screw, or bolt, or what do you want to call it, on it is seized. I've been spraying it down every day, and I'm hoping I can get it, get it out of there. Because if I can, I can just get it passed until tax time. But we'll have to see what happens. I'll have to use a torch or something to heat it up. Oh, another thing is I had to replace this. Things I had to do to it. I ended up changing these lights to the orange ones. Those the ones that came on it were clear. Now, I like these, but the problem is when I bought the bulbs for it, I didn't bother to pay attention to which ones I bought. And since at the time it hadn't been inspected yet, I had bought the clear bulbs. I didn't buy the orange ones. Yeah, but when I got it, I didn't have no tail lights. I mean, no parking lights. I had tail lights. I had no parking lights at all on this truck. I went through this whole wiring on this whole truck and tried to figure it out. I wasn't sure what exactly was going on with it. But, I wired the front lights, parking lights, up to an auxiliary switch, or to part of the fuse box. So every time I kick the blazer on, the lights come on. So I never mess those up. And then my tail lights, I've got those working on the regular switch. I went through all this trouble to make a long story short. It turns out the only thing that was wrong with it was the license plate wiring was grounded out. But I didn't know this until I went to hook the rear lights up, because the rear lights kept popping the fuse anyways, and I wasn't sure why. I was under the assumption that it was these front lights because the guy I got it from said that the guy that he got it from had fog lights on it, and they wired it into the blinkers or the parking lights. And I guess kept overloading the circuit and popping the fuse. But anyways, it's not bad. It's got the 4.3. 4-drive does work. But there's a lot of work to be done to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it. I may just part it out. Thinking next year I'm going to get me a new truck anyways. Probably end up getting me a 2010 Tahoe. The reason I'm not getting a 2011 is because any 2010s that are left over, I'll get like $10,000 back on the. Well, I'll say about $10,000 on the rebates. Plus, if I decide to trade this in, which I doubt I will, it'll be even more on it. But if anybody's got any ideas as to how to fix that rear axle, if it's a simple fix or if it's a hard fix, I have no idea. The really bad thing about the fuel pump was I'd actually went to the gas station the day before and filled it up. And I put 18 gallons worth of gas in the thing. I was having trouble starting at the gas station, but I didn't know, because I hadn't had it for very long, so I didn't know what it was. Well, I brought it home and I set it, and I sat in the garage where it's sitting in right now for about 3 days, 2 or 3 days, and I went to get in it one morning to run into town, and it wouldn't start. But I noticed that I didn't hear the fuel pump running anymore. So I had to go and buy a bunch of gas cans, which got 2 there, and there's 2 on the ground on the other side over here. And then I had to put a bunch of gas in the van from the truck. After I siphoned it all out, I had to siphon 18 gallons worth of gas out. That was ridiculous. It is push button, which is a thing I didn't really care too much for. It's all vacuum. Here, I'll show you. This runs, I got everything. It runs my brakes, and you can hear it clicking over on the solenoids here for the 4-wheel drive. Man, it's been a nightmare for this thing. Oh yeah, and another thing is a battery. The battery wasn't holding the charge. I think it was my alternator for sure. I mean, the alternator seems to be charging. It's weird. Every now and then when I get in there and I fire it up, the gauge doesn't work. You know, and I have to hit the side of the dash. Redneck thing, I know. I'm too lazy to fix it. It's not a big deal as long as the gauge comes up. But seems like after I drive it for about 15-20 minutes, maybe half an hour, depends on how hot it is out, it seems like the gauge drops down. It doesn't really affect the way it drives, and I also get a weird sound underneath the truck. One of these days I'll have to get that on video. Maybe somebody can tell me what it is. I was told it could be a main bearing, but the thing is all the people I have talked to that had main bearing problems said that it'll either leak real bad, smoke, or you will lose a lot of power, if not all your power. And I don't lose any power. It doesn't shift funny. I don't know where the sound's coming from. It doesn't do it when the engine's warm. I mean, it does it when the engine's warm, but the engine's already been warm for probably, let's say I drive 45 minutes. You know, within the first 10 minutes on a 100-degree day, the engine is nice and hot. But it doesn't do it for that. It'll do it after I drive it for a while. I mean, it does it when I move, but it also does it when I'm parked. And park, neutral, reverse, drive, forward drive, everything. I mean, it does it in all of it. Like, I don't think it'll do it right now, and I don't feel like starting it up because it's been sitting for a while. Like I said, it doesn't really affect the way it's driving. It just, it's kind of a nuisance sound. But, I don't know. I'll try to bring up a video of it one of these days. I'm not sure when I'll get to it. But if, like I said, that axle is my next project. Probably figure out a way to mess with the torsion bar brackets, or the cross member for the torsion bars, and we'll go from there. If you have any ideas, let me know.